Hey everyone, SweetJohnnyCage here, back with another guide for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. This time I'm going to show you how to defeat the Deathrite bird in Charo's Hidden Grave. Charo's Hidden Grave is a somewhat hidden area on the map. However, on the map itself, it is very prominent. It's the red cliff area just above the Cerulean Coast. So if you were like me and you hit the Cerulean Coast pretty early in your playthrough, you've been wondering how to get up here. The way to do it is to go through the Dragon's Pit Cave back in Graveside Plain. Go through that, and then as you exit that cave through the back, you'll be at the Dragon's Pit terminus, and then just follow the road past the Jagged Peak Drake boss, and then you will end up in Charo's Hidden Grave. So it's somewhat hidden to get into, but once you're in, you're free to explore it, and there's a lot there. Okay, for this particular fight, I recommend bringing a sacred weapon with you. The reason for that is because that does a lot of damage to the boss. Any sort of undead enemy is weak to sacred. The annoying thing about this fight is that there are a few death birds within this area, these sort of gargoyle enemies, and you're going to have to deal with them first. So luckily, the boss does have friendly fire, especially with its roar, that move right there before the grab. That roar will deal damage to the other death birds in the area. However, they've got to be pretty close to the boss. What I recommend doing when you first get in here is try to stay near the walls of the entryway. This way you can try to snipe out some of the lesser death birds or the gargoyles and get them to come to you. This way you don't have to deal with them during the fight. This is a lot easier said than done because the boss spawns almost immediately when you approach the area. So it can be really hard to get him to not start summoning everything around him and aggroing everything around him. But as you saw there, he does have friendly fire, so on the off chance that you're able to get something in front of him, you can use that to your advantage. Once you're really ready to start fighting the boss, you want to buff your weapon with Sacred. Sacred Blade is really, really strong. This works in the base game as well on anything that can do Death Blight generally, or any sort of undead enemy will be very weak to Sacred. The boss's weak point is its skull. You can't really do too much to that unless you're more of a magic user or if you have some sort of Ash of War that will let you get damage onto the head. But as you saw there, my last hit did like 500 extra damage just because it hit the head. Other than the enemies in the area, this is your bog standard Deathrite bird fight. There's nothing new to this. That said, these fights can be really hard because this boss deals a ton of damage and seems to, for some reason, ignore armor. Although I'm not sure that's even true, it just does so much damage. After the explosion you just saw there, you got to be very careful because as you can see on the ground, it leaves behind a lot of frostfire. That frostfire can deal huge amounts of ticking damage, so you got to be very, very careful whenever you see that on the ground. You do not want to stand in that whenever possible. You want to try to get out of it as quickly as you can. It's a lot easier said than done sometimes, but that's kind of the idea. It will leave that behind with almost every sort of empowered attack that it does. It leaves behind a little bit, so you got to be very, very careful. With that explosion right there, even if the boss stabs the ground next to you and it seems like it's going to go off in your face, you can roll and dodge it. It's just really, really strict timing. If you don't feel like you're going to be able to dodge it, face the center of that explosion and block. You don't want the damage hitting you in the back, otherwise that's a critical and you're probably going to die from it. So either get that dodge timing down or just face the center of the explosion and block and you should be safe. But that's it. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, you can do so by becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. You can also leave a super thanks by clicking the heart icon below this video. Don't forget to join my community Discord. The link for that is in the description below. As always, I'm SweetJohnnyCage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.